Hey friends, welcome back to Watavue Mountain. Yep, you guessed it. I'm still in the office editing. Kind of janked up that molding video because it was just way too long. So here's the second part of me actually installing that Art Deco or 3-2-1 molding, whatever you want to call it. You saw how we put it together. You saw us seal it with the linseed oil. Now let's take a look at us getting it actually on the wall and covering up some of those errors that we had between the tin in the roof and the wood on the side. So thanks for coming. Thanks for checking us out. As always, we're blessed to be able to do this, blessed to have you along with us, and just blessings all the way around. So enough of me jabbering. Sit back, relax. Let's get to busy. All right, I'm gonna do the best I can to film this by myself, but again, it's just me. So what I'm gonna do is, you see I'm right here above the shower head and the shower. So I'm gonna put that 3-inch piece here, and then behind you is the, not a joining wall, but the same length wall, right? So I'm gonna do those two 3-inch pieces first. Then I'm gonna do this piece over here because, as you can see, that tin is not going to allow that board to sit flush with the wall itself. So I'm going to have to finagle with that a little bit, and then I'll come back and do this piece last. Or maybe I'll do that last. But I'll try to film as much as I can. Like I said, it's just me. And then this will help you kind of understand why. Oh, you know what? Got to start right from the beginning. Look at that. I forgot. I added these boards after I measured. So I'm already going to have to cut this board down. Let me grab a tape measure and we'll see where we're at. Okay, so while I'm measuring, I guess I'll try to explain. It'll make more sense once I put these other pieces in, but once I put this board up here, that's going to take almost that inch off of there, right? So I take an inch off this side, an inch off of that side. These boards are actually going to be about 2 inches shorter. But I want to get these in place first so that I can actually measure and get the actual dimensions instead of just swagging it like I normally do. So let's, sorry about that rustle there. Let's get this measurement across here. So I could do that. Couple different ways to skin that cat, right? 61 1/4. I was going to try to come measure to here, to this line, and then measure from there to this line, but that's too much math. I got a small brain, so, and now I forgot what it was. You're probably thinking, how'd you forget that quick? I told you I got a small brain. 61 1/4. All right, so let me go cut down those 3 boards, 61 1/4, and we'll be back. All right, let's see how this does. Okay, it's a little tight, but I like it. I'm gonna try to do 2 things. Pray it doesn't drop on my head, and then try to get it level as I can. I don't know, you can't see that bubble, but we're level right there. So all right, there you go. First board's up. I'm going to do that board behind you. I'm not going to show you. I'm just going to do that board. And then, like I said, we'll do this, probably this board next. And then we'll see what we got to do to tackle that over there. 1.5" brad nails is what I'm using for this. And again, because we're going to have a 2-inch cover up here, then I'm not really worried about getting them super close up to the edge where you're going to see them, if that makes sense. So, so that's why I kind of came down a little bit in a couple different spots. Let me go cut that board, and then we'll come back and I'll show you this board. Okay, I don't think that's terrible. This bar's in the way, kind of annoying, but you get the picture. So now that I have these 2 end boards in, right, we cut that other one at 72 something, and right here we're at 70 7/8, or 70 3/4. Let's try 70 7/8 first. 70 7/8, and see if we can squeeze that in there. 70 7/8 is going to be the number. So let me do that and we'll check it out. Let's see how she goes. Oh yeah, like a glove. Okay, something I didn't think about. Should have done these first. This metal has these ridges, so this side is a little bit low. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to nail this in place over here, and then use this kind of as a fulcrum. Hopefully it'll hold so that I can push that up into place and keep that nice and level. Let's see how this goes. Okay, I just pray that stays there. And I push this up. Okay, get closer and push. Well, lost our light there. Got too many wires and cords. So that worked out pretty good. That's flush. And that's flush. Now we'll just nail the rest in place. Wow, it's bowing a little. Too tight. A little bit of a gap. I'm not digging that, but and that could be because I twisted it, you know, push this end up. Then I got a little bit of a gap right here, but I think we'll survive that. It's the tip of my pinky finger, so I think we'll survive it. So all right, now to that back wall. I knew this was going to be the one. So let's move the camera around, see what we can get done over there. All right, I'll try to move you along with me as I go here. So 71 3/8 worked. As you can see though, we have quite a gap here. I mean, that's a big gap. So we're using these 1.5" brad nails. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's what I'm talking about. They're just flat, they got a little bitty head on the top. So I'm gonna try to square this side up and get that flush. And I think what I'm gonna have to do is come up here with maybe some screws, maybe just 1 or 2 screws to get this in place. And then this will be structurally sound enough, not that it's structural, but it'll be solid enough to support the 2" and the 1". So let me see what I can do here. And then I'll show you down there. We got a big problem over there in that corner. So So again, a fulcrum there, but let's turn and see if you can roll with me on this one. Sorry about that, but look at that gap there. So if I try to move this down to get that flush with that board, good night. I got a giant gap up here. I don't think you'll see it though with the 2-inch and the 1-inch. I just don't know. And surprisingly, that's pretty level. I probably could come up a little bit on that end, but I think at this moment I'm more worried about the corners being flush, the edges being flush rather, than I am really about you being able to see over top of this. I mean, I can see because I'm standing up here, but once we get those other ones up here, I don't think you're really going to be able to see that. So let's nail this and see what happens. See, this is just going to hit metal. And that's holding pretty steady. Got an air leak. I think I'm just going to throw another screw in here just to be safe. Just to make sure. I'm going to go backwards first. And then nice and slow. I think that's tight as a tick. That will get covered up. You didn't even see it. I failed you. This here is that screw that I just put in. Got it flush, and that's it. And that will be covered up by that 2-inch board. So I think we'll be in pretty good shape. All right. Start back over here, and let's put up the 2 inches. All right, I think you can see this well enough. As I explain it, you'll get the picture. But now we have this 3-inch board in place and that 3-inch board in place, right? So we got to remeasure for that 2-inch board. So let me get my glasses. Heaven knows I can't hardly read the tape measure. So from there to there, we are right at 59 inches. So it'll be 59 inches for that 2-inch here. And then once we get the 2-inch, the 1-inch will be even shorter. I'll show you in a second. Okay, so the 59-inch fit perfect. I love when my measurements go as planned. But now, I can't just throw it up there, right? Because I want to have a 1-inch gap from here to here so that this steps out properly. So, kind of same thing I did before. I'm going to come over here in the corner. I doubt you can see that. I'm going to scoot this down. That's tight as a tick. To 1 inch. So, I got a 1-inch gap over here. And again, I can go high on this. Then I'm going to get my 1-inch gap over here. Okay, check the middle. Yep. So we're all good at 1 inch right there. So I can just fire it in place. And I'm just trying to put a nail about, I don't know, every 6 or 8 inches. Just to, you know, keep it from bowing, keep it from twisting, or any of that kind of stuff. So now you get the picture. Let me do the other 3 2-inch ones, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the 1-inch ones. Last one I'm going to show you, but you see how nice these corners are matching up now? And the same thing here. I think you can see that. Right, I got it flush, covering up the gap up top quite a bit. So even that gap over here you can't see from that angle, but it's covering it up pretty nice. So I think we're going to be in good shape over there. So let's measure this. So, right, it's all making sense now. That the last one we put up, that 2-inch, was like 58 3/4. So this one is going to be 57 3/8. Well, now they straighten the tape out. 57 1/4. So we're losing that, whatever you want to call it, 3/4 of an inch every time. I got to stop talking. 57 1/4. Holy frijoles and potatoes. 57 1/4. Woo! 57 1/4, 57 1/4. Let me cut that. We'll come back, throw that bad boy in. I'll finish this up and we'll wrap up this video. So 57 1/4, just to give you a reference, here's the piece I just cut off. It's about a little over 5 inches that we lost. So from the starting board, that 3-inch board, well, that's not fair because we lost an inch, but about 4 inches is what we lost, right? Because we lost an inch because I forgot to measure for these boards. But yeah, so you're going to lose 4 or 5 inches, but that's why I cut it the length that I did to start. I just cut them all the same length so that I didn't end up coming up short later. So I think that ended up paying some dividends here. Once in a while, I get lucky like that. There goes the glasses. So same thing, I'm going to try to get this in here. Try to give myself 1 inch. A 1-inch gap here to keep that consistent and looking nice. Right there's 1 inch. And in this one, I'm going to be a little more selective with firing off these rounds because you're potentially going to be able to see it. Now, it's going to be tough because it's up in the top of the shower, but, you know, if Bob the Builder comes to inspect, whoever, I'm not saying Bob the Builder, not that we have inspections here, but anybody wants to come and get persnickety, then it's covered. Still want to make sure that I got about 1 inch in the middle too. Yep, we're a little long, but that's okay. Again, I think if somebody's getting up here to measure, they got other problems. So you got to find that happy medium, right? We still want enough nails that it's not going to pop or move or twist, but at the same time we want it to look nice as we're doing, we'll call it finishing work. All right, let me get these other 3 knocked out, and then we still have a little bit more trim to do. We're going to try to do something here, I don't know what. Try to do something over there, I don't know what. It might be for another day because it's almost 4 o'clock here, and you know what they say when it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So let me just finish this up, see where we're at, and then we'll decide what we're going to do with the rest of it. All finished in here. Put that little piece of wood in. That turned out real dark. Some dark and light there. Not too shabby. There you go. Now, finished. Like I said, I'm going to let that linseed oil dry. And you might be asking yourself, why on earth would you do all that as opposed to just doing like a 3 or 4 inch molding around the top? It just looks different. I liked it the first time I saw it. I've never seen anybody else do it, and I like the way it looks. Now, granted, it's literally taken me all day. I think I've been at it for about 5 hours between all the measurements up and down, moving cameras, you know, all that stuff. But I think it really gives it a nice, unique character, and especially the way that the wood offsets itself or each other with the different contrasts of how it took up the linseed oil. So I'm not saying in the rest of the cabin we're not going to do just a 3 or 4 inch border, but I like the way it looks. I think it was worth the extra effort. You know, little piece like that here. I think I'll probably end up putting another piece here, but I like the way this transitions between the shower and this board, so I might not. I might just caulk this with some silicone caulking and call that a day and let that ride. And then the same thing over here. I was worried about this transition with the metal, but I think I'm going to let that ride too. So short of the light and the floor, we're pretty much done in the bathroom. I do have to make a stand for this sink, but I don't know if that's going to be a video or not because I have no idea how to do that. So, but maybe that's exactly what I need to share. So enough of me rambling. Absolutely blessed. Like I said, it's been a long day, but very productive. I'm super happy to have this finished. It's just one of those things that literally will keep me awake at night thinking about, okay, what's next, what's next, what's next? And it seems to be never ending, but that's okay. We kind of knew that when we started this project. So thanks for coming. Thanks for checking us out. As always, if you like what we're doing, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when we post new content. Of course, look up this way. We're going to post another video. I let YouTube pick it because they always do, and they know what you like better than I do. So, yeah, thanks for coming. Have a blessed day. We really appreciate you being here. Truly, honestly and truly, we appreciate you being here. Until next time, be safe and God bless.